Hey guys, I am so excited to be here to tell you that we've got to do some housekeeping, cleaning. All right. So what is going on is I'm going to read an email that I sent out to a few of the people like our private crypto club crew that meets tonight at 8 o'clock and Thursday at 8. 1 second. My phone's like a little overwhelmed with lots of stuff on it. So here's the thing I want you to know is that there's a few dates that are very essential to know about. So 1 sec, and then I'll give you the info. I can go by memory. I just don't know. Here we go. Okay, this is what I wrote in an email. So I usually do a video with my emails, but I just didn't. I was kind of like behind today. Okay, so here's the deal. Regulations are beginning in the US, and the regulations are triggering many companies to make changes to stay what I call alive. Below are a few important details that all US crypto holders should know. So September 12th, 2019 is the last day a US residents can trade on Binance. I said a solution would be Coinbase. For now, Coinbase seems safe. When I say that in September 12th, 2019, like it's the last day to trade, you will still be able to have a Binance account open. You will not be able to buy or sell anything on Binance. You're just going to be able to transfer, okay? That's really important to know. The solution would be to go to Coinbase, and then when Binance.us opens, you can actually move your stuff into there. Somebody is trying to message me. I will say, can I call you later? All right, so Binance, this is housekeeping, very important. Binance, September 12th. Do not wait until September 12th. I'm not a financial advisor, and I don't plan on being one. And I'm not I'm not an expert in this and in US regulations or laws. However, I'd love to learn a lot as much as I can. So here's the thing. Don't wait until September 12th. Like I would say, just get out as soon as you can off of Binance because how do I explain this? Supply and demand, okay? Even though other people in other countries can be on Binance, it's just the volume. The trade volume impacts the price. If you notice on CoinMarketCap, you can go in and you can look under each coin and you can see which exchange has the most volume in that particular coin. And the prices are different on all the different exchanges. So just make sure that you know that the prices can fluctuate, right? So don't wait until that date when everyone's like, damn, I gotta get off of Binance, right? You wanna get off when hopefully the price fluctuations don't impact, your earnings. Okay, next cleaning house, Abra wallet, okay? So August 29th, 2019, Abra will not allow coins accessible to US resident users. So Abra wallet, which has been a pretty good wallet for a lot of people, had a variety of coins. Looks like they're doing something, if I read the article correctly, where they're condensing all of the ability of the multiple coins that you could have. They're saying you have to turn it into Bitcoin and move it out. Okay, so it's moving time. Abra wallet is pulling the reins in from the US residents. It's moving out. So what I'm experiencing is the power of the USA today, okay? There is definite power in, they're accepting this as a serious potential, I think it's definitely a potential issue against, our current currency. And also it's gonna get regulated. So as far as a wallet goes, then the solution would that be is, I don't have it here. You have the a Trezor wallet or a Ledger wallet. But here's the thing that's important. Before you go and like do a hard wallet secure system, it's like you need to have a conscious decision. Is that coin going to still be standing in a year or 2 years, right? I mean, think logically what makes a coin valuable. It's usage, it's accessibility. I think this is a different scenario from 2017 and 18. A lot of people got upset because the coins lost value. This is it's a different wave that's coming. This is where the coins, how do I say this? It's like, are the regulatory laws going to allow them to survive? There's a way to suffocate situations, because like in 2018, I wasn't allowed to even like say the word crypto on Facebook. It's like, really? Like, I lost Facebook ads, right? So like they try to silence us, right? So it's like the power is coming in. So the reality is no matter, I mean, like, look at the guy that created Tron. Isn't he under some like investigation or something? There's something going on there. The point is that digital currency has become a pain in the bunghole for some people, I think, right? And the blockchain power has been seen, and the blockchain power is now known. And I think it's proved to be extremely powerful. And when Facebook decided to come play in that game, they're like, whoa, okay. And I really think ultimately, guys, this is a positive thing. It may be beyond, it's gotten past the point of the wild, wild west. Okay. It's as if like when the gold rush came, the money was made on the shovels. The money was made, probably on the people that owned the wagons, and the food being sold to all the miners. So we need to look at this in that perspective, that this new technology is going to take over. It's about blockchain now, and it's not so much about like it's a digital so much currency. I think it's more infrastructure too. So I wonder, what's going to happen with those infrastructure coins. Like, will they get approved? And also, I think that's a matter of a diversification and we need a really good, strong communicator within this realm. Like, I love Andreas Antonopoulos because he goes in there and he can explain, like, on a technological level, like, these are not currency coins. I was talking to somebody, my quantitative research and developer and trader. I'm like, they cannot claim that Aeon is a currency coin. It's not. Like, Aeon is an infrastructure coin. You have blockchain infrastructure, and then you have currency coins. So I guess what I'm saying is there has to be a delineation between these coins. Like, now they've started coming out with tokens, right? And I saw some articles this last week saying the SEC is approving tokens, certain tokens. So like, it's like a Chuck E. Cheese token. Like, there's no real monetary value of that. I guess what I'm saying is that as far as like when it comes to your portfolios and so forth, keep a keen eye on the coins that are going to be allowed to be accepted. And I think we should all be really aware of, are these being coded as currency, or are they like a commodity, or are they a security? And I'm really hoping that the company we live in, I call the country a company, okay? If we look at the country we live in, and whatever, there's 195 companies across the world, that those companies have to thrive and survive, right? I mean, the company is managing a certain amount of land and the little people in the land, and we essentially are employees of the company we live in. All right. And if you kind of look at the company you live in that perspective, you understand you're a team. Okay. So ultimately, we're a team and we work for one company, and then we do business with other companies. And that's essentially, I think, the simplistic way to explain why we need to kind of be in compliance with our company and the company that we live in. And if you don't like the company you live in, then you got to move to a company that you want to live in. I'm going to even look into creating your own company. And if you create your own company, it's complicated, and you probably won't be accepted as, part of the United Nations. And if you're not accepted in that, if you create a company, you're not accepted into United Companies, then you are susceptible to pirates and so forth taking you over. In helping my son with ancient civilizations, he's in 6th grade, I was like amazed. I mean, that's, if you study ancient civilizations back to the Roman time, and when there's just like, ooh, all these like big tribes, the Celtics, and you have the Romans, and then you have the splitting of the Catholic churches, you have all these groups, and they're just all land hungry. And, you know, did our human consciousness expand since that time? Maybe, maybe not. I think that, you know, the future of our planet, we really do need that blockchain. If everything I'm reading about the secret space program, that the disclosure is coming out, that we are having, and you know, people think, oh, you're crazy, but you know, you just listen, right? You watch enough stuff, you say, okay, if we really are like getting to that point where the secret space program is going on, disclosure opening, and they want us to know, and if there really are galactic wars going out there, then we do need to bring the planet together, and we need to like all just kind of unite as a human race. I mean, I love that song. We are the world, we are the people, we are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving, let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our lives. I need to learn how to sing. It's true, we make a better place, just you and me. You know, that's really important. I think that as a human race, we need to come together. The technology that's about to emerge in the next 5 to 10 years is huge. If the secret space program is correct, and if they're really making food with 3D printers, guys, we're really on the brink of some exciting time. It's just that the collective consciousness of humanity needs to just get elevated, and we need to see all of us as the same team. You know, beyond the religion, beyond the faith, we need to somehow find a common thread between all the faiths and the religion, and saying, look, you're a human being, okay? When you get to this point in time, you say, look, we're on one planet, okay? And we're getting to the point where we're finding all these solar systems. We're so potentially, you know, if what the secret space program did, they really put people in 8 different planets, and they're all over. And since like the 1940s, they've had a station on the moon. I don't know if it's true or not. I really don't know, you know, and I probably just don't even care. I'll be honest with you. You know, I like planet Earth. I want to stay. I just want to grow some vegetables. I want to like grow some kids, and, you know, have fun with my husband. You know, that means, and just live a life. I think that's great. But the potential risk that we're going to potentially have if this galactic stuff is really true, you know, we need to unite as a human race on the planet. That's period. You know, I mean, there's so many details watching the Democratic debate last night. It was like, okay, there are some issues and stuff. So let's just like clean the clutter in your head. Let's just focus. We're human beings, people. We're human beings. Collectively, let's come together. You know, I'm definitely not Democrat or Republican. I don't really know what I am. I believe that we all should be able to make money. We should be able to save, and we should be able to be artistic and create our own projects, and we should be able to have some stickage. Okay, I think financial stickage is important, and I think we should have, it's been beautiful being able to be brought up in the United States. I love this country. You know, it's been a beautiful place to like actually grow. And I think that collectively, you know, we have a great system here. I've been very blessed, I think, with good health. And I had a very knowledgeable mother about like health and nutrition and massage and reflexology. So I think that it's important that we do personally take responsibility and eliminate a lot of unnecessary food in our diet. I'm currently a sugaraholic, and I'm being aware of it, and so I'm trying to get off of it. So I've noticed that just getting sugar means no bread, no pasta. It means nothing, you know, no carbs. It means definitely no soda. And I definitely am, you know, just conscious about corn and soy. And so it's like you could do almond milk in your coffee. So anyways, health and nutrition is a huge, huge passion of mine. But beyond that, I think that lifestyle is important. I feel like there's so many people that have addictions to alcohol, and I'm learning a lot about the heroin thing. Like, I don't even want to say those words. I just feel like let's fall in love with water and clean water. And I would love to see people fall in love with vegetables and growing vegetables. I think growing a garden should be a project, and it should be an assignment for children in school. I think everyone needs to know how to grow cucumbers and lettuce and peppers, and they should be required to graduate school growing how to grow their own food, period. I don't think that should be an option. I think that that should be something that if they fail that class, they have to take it again. There should be seeds and soil and manure, and we should really honor our horse farms because those are the growers of the best shit ever. And the cow patty farms, I mean, I don't know about you guys, but that poop, if you get that poop and you like, I want to be a poopologist. Yeah, like I'll be a poopologist. Like if you give me like the research center, you know, if someone wants to fund me to be a poopologist, I'm all about it. Like I think that, like I'm telling you guys, I've made sunflowers like this huge from horse poop. Oh, I gotta stop this. I'm telling you, I'm so getting sidetracked, but I'm telling you, like find a horse farm that gets manure and grow some food. That's like the best thing that you could do for yourself because you're going to have a very amazing mind. You're going to have just clean food, organic food, seeds and soil, and rainwater. If you can collect rainwater, get the buckets out because it'll plant your garden and just be some self-sufficiency. I don't know if that's like any particular like political thing. I don't know. I just think that really seriously, you will value the land you live on. You will value soil. You will value like your life. Seeing babies give you some excitement in life to watch something growing, to be able to take care of something gives you a reason to live. If you can just learn how to plant a seed and see the babies grow, that is so therapeutic. It's so conscious and it's awareness. It's so human, right? You have to eat off of the land. That's what your ancestors did. Everybody that's alive is alive because they're a winner. You come from a winning. Well, because the opposite sex was attracted to your grandmother or grandfather enough to make babies. I come from huge baby maker mommies. So some grandmothers made like 13 kids, another 8 kids. These are some baby popping babes, okay? So you do too. If you're alive right now, it's because your genetic pool is attractive. You come from highly sexual people. You come from parents that were excited about being with each other, that they made babies. So applaud yourself. You are the champion. If you're alive today, it's because you had very excitable, happy parents that were having fun, all right? And even if you are alive because of, you know, a mishap, you're still part of a champion because you're alive, okay? So I'm gonna jump off. This was all about crypto, but it also is just about life, I think important stuff. So I think circle back to the beginning of this video. It's all about Bittrex. I wanna talk about Bittrex too. So Bittrex, Binance, and Abra, okay? Bittrex is July 31st. That's actually the most important one, 2019. It's ceasing all operations at midnight in Connecticut. So it leads me to say, I don't think Connecticut's going to be the only state, but Bittrex is shutting down too, probably for the whole United States. So maybe crypto is like legal in some areas, but just stay up with the news right now and really think about what you're doing. I think that the hodlers should maybe reconsider hodling all the time. And I'm connected with a quantitative developer that is all about TradeStation. So TradeStation does trades in millisecond, and it's using technology. And since 1999, most of the hedge funds, they all trade with technology. So it only makes sense that we trade with technology. I mean, I know crypto land has been really fun. It's been really exciting, but let's be real. We're going to be in compliance with regulations soon. It's going to be just like Forex was. You know, it did what it needed to do. It proved itself valuable. Okay. Now, I think that what's going to happen personally is I think every country is going to have their own currency, digital currency. Okay. And just be respectful. I've got to be respectful of the country, the company I live in, and know that that company does a lot of good things for a lot of people, right? And ultimately, if we decide to, we're living in a company, okay? We live in a big company, and the thing is whether we want to admit it or not, yeah, it takes a lot of money for the company to live, all right? It's bigger than us. It's probably has more power than, you know, our grandparents wanted it to ever have. My grandfather, two of them, Henry Madison and Clement Weaver, they were here in 1676. But before that, I think they got here in 1634. They one was friends with Roger Williams, and Henry Madison was really good friends with the Indians, and they, you know, unfortunately started like I'm glad that they were friends with the Indians, but I feel bad too. Like, my grandmother had Geronimo's belt in her attic, and I didn't understand how could Grandma Grace have Geronimo's belt. But it makes sense that if Henry Madison, when he first came over in Rhode Island, he was friends with the Indians, but he was holding down Providence Island, Nassau Bay or whatever. And I guess what I'm saying is, like, at that time, you know, each grandfather was granted 100 acres in East Greenwich, Rhode Island, but they like, I don't have in the historical records, like, you know, their thoughts and stuff, but if you study the government back then, like, all the children, was a Protestant based community, I think, at that time, like, well, most of America, and the education was given to everyone. Okay, so I want you guys to know why the United States is so beautiful. Okay, this is such a beautiful research project. Like, I started researching my family. So in the 1600s, when they first settled the United States, and it started the first French and Indian War. So my grandfathers were part of the first French and Indian War. And I guess for King Philip, they fought for King Philip, and then they were given like 100 acres each. Now, this is important. At that time, the education was given to everybody. Everybody. It wasn't about your social status or your wealth. All the children were being educated up to the first 6 years. Well, 6 years of education. They were taught government policy. Things had changed. I mean, that's what children were learning. They were learning that. And at that same time, like in Europe, only the very wealthy children were being educated. So I'm very lucky to have like grandparents that came here. So it wasn't like, well, Clement Weaver came from, it was interesting, they were like kings, they were a long line of kings of Wales. But when I was researching that at 400 AD, Wales wasn't Wales. Wales was like Scotland. So the Clement Weaver guy, that was from like 480 kings. And the kings at that time weren't like major kings. Like, one overthrew the King of England. Isn't that funny? I mean, I bet the King of England wasn't really England at that time. It was just like small little reigns. And it was just like, you know, nothing major. So it wasn't like this brilliant king. And I bet, you know, I mean, think about kings back then. Was just probably like leader of a big little like army and stuff. But anyways, back to the 1600s in the United States. This is all about why the United States is a wonderful place and we need to preserve it. 100% of the kids were educated and equally educated. So why the United States is such a beautiful place is we've had over almost 400 years of equal education opportunities for the children. No matter their fiscal capabilities for their family. So I don't think there is any other country on the planet that has given equal opportunity education to all the children for over 400 years, and a place that has had such a beautiful acceptance of all faiths and religion. And they speak English, okay? Let's just say all I know about is like English speaking countries at this point. But look, 400 years of equal education. Now, do I think the educational system has been tainted? Absolutely. The educational system has been extremely tainted because, in the 1600s, the children were being taught policy and government policies, and, that is what allowed us most likely to, 100 years later, to break free from any European rulers, right? So I think that's why I've seen, being an event planner, I've seen or worked a few events that supported private schools. And I was wondering, why are so many people that are heavily funded, like very wealthy people, why are they worrying about private schools? Well, it's because to really change a civilization, to really change power, it starts where the children are young. It's like habits. So, anyways, you got to start with the kids. If you want to make a change for a long term for like humanity or your country, you have to start with the children. So, point is we've got to preserve our country. And a lot of people talk about Trump and the wall. Here's my political standpoint on that. Humans are humans, and yes, I think all humans should be taken care of. But if we can financially afford to feed all the people in the world, then that would be amazing. But I think we need to be very honest with our country's financial statement, okay? Guys, we don't have enough money as it is. There's not, and like, if we had enough money to feed the world, then we need to pay our debt off and be debt free. So if you want to host somebody personally in your own house and feed them with your own money and the savings that you have, then I'd say go for it. But I think that we all need to take a little bit of responsibility and ownership about our country and say, like, even though, we don't, like, how do I say this? Even though you don't see the bank statements for the company we live in every day, I think you need to be honest with yourselves and say, like, a lot of people, like my mother-in-law and my father-in-law, all about like bringing people in. And I said, that's great. Then put them in your house and you house them and you clothe them and you feed them with your money. And they were like, I'm like, yeah, well, if you can't afford to do that, then who can, right? If you can't afford to house like tons of people. So as far as the wall goes, I'm going to talk about Constantinople. We're talking Roman times, okay? The downfall of Rome in ancient civilization times, talking like 400 AD, that was because there was no wall protecting Rome. The only reason Constantinople stood strong and the Roman Empire was broken down is because there was a wall protecting Constantinople. And that's how you have the splitting of the Roman Catholic Church and the Eastern Orthodox. Because Constantinople stayed strong because they could defend themselves because they had a wall. And when Constantinople kept standing and finally Eastern Rome became strong and they got Rome back, then what happened is the Roman Pope was the most powerful man. And the bishop in Constantinople was second, right, in power. Well, the Eastern Rome guy had become the number one in power in Constantinople after Rome lost their little fights. And so when they did combine back together, the Roman Pope wanted the power back. And Eastern Rome, the Constantinople Pope was like, I'm not giving my power back. I want to keep my power. I want to be the number one ruler, you know? And so they decided that they would call the Roman Catholic, and then Constantinople Pope would become Eastern Orthodox. So the religions are basically the same, but it was established because the popes decided that they don't want to give up their power or their title, and so they compromised, right? But the point of that story is that there was a wall protecting Constantinople. And eventually, you know, other people got strong, and then they ended up losing and so forth. But however, that's just about the wall. All right. So guys, I really hope that our country stays safe and strong. We're coming to like the 100-year mark of World War II, and 1933 is when gold was nationalized. You know, there's been talk about the gold dollar turning into gold-backed currency. I know a lot of people are going towards gold for investing. And I just think that's essential for you guys to do some research and understand what happened with gold in the past. The gold prices were fluctuating, with no one really knew why. Studying the market for the last like year and a half, 2 years, I understand that you buy low, you sell high. So when gold prices go down, that's when you buy. So just, you know, if gold nationalization happens, just be aware. And I think I'm not a financial advisor. I don't plan on being one. But if gold does start getting down, I mean, if you get into something, make sure you can get out. I'm definitely a fan of trend trading, just because you get in, you get out. You don't wait. And I believe trend trading should be with technology, because that way it's always watching. So you can do other things with your life, you know, let the technology do what the technology does. And if most of the world is trading with tech, then you got to keep an eye on it and stuff. But you know, or you're manually trading, but you're gonna be with the computer all day long. I don't think working with a computer 24/7 is healthy either. So I think we should definitely have gardens, seeds, soil, and enjoy the rain. The rain stopped, so my garden got rained. I'm so excited while I was doing this. Thank you God. And I'm out. So this is a very long video, and I'm not sure if anybody would agree with my concepts and stuff. The point of it is to stay strong and be aware of what's going on in the news. Binance, Bittrex, and Abra. There's a lot of transition going on, and guys, the $23 trillion just jumps around. It's like boom, 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 boom. It goes from stocks, it goes to Forex, it goes to crypto, it goes to commodities. So keep in mind all that. All right, I'm out. Have a great day. Bye. Oh, and then hold on. So as that $23 trillion kind of jumps around, just scale it, right? I mean, maybe not a whole 23 trillion, clearly not, but the money bounces. And so one of the options you have is to scale it. So you have automation set up to like scoop up wherever market is moving. And that's like trend trading. Okay, see you tonight on the webinar. Bye.